Good morning. Football and the National Football League play large roles in American culture. The league consists of 32 teams, or 32 cities, in which the people are either united in cheering on one team or divided in rivalries. Each team from around the country embodies the traditions and values of their city, creating sociocultural phenomenon. Today, I'll be looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers as a sociocultural phenomenon. By using the anthropological lenses of post-colonial theory and structural functionalism to better understand how the team transcends the realm of professional sports and serves as a powerful sociocultural phenomenon. The Steelers are more than just a football team. They are a symbol of identity, resilience, and transformation for the city of Pittsburgh and its people. To begin, I would like to take a brief look at the history of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Founded in 1933 by Arthur Rooney, who invested $2,500 in the team, football was a popular sport in the area at the time, as it appealed to the hard-working and resilient blue-collar families who worked in the steel forges of the city. Today, the Steelers are six-time Super Bowl champions who perfectly embody the grit, resilience, and loyalty of the city and are still owned by the Rooney family today. Now, to shift the conversation to post-colonial theory and the Steelers. Post-colonial theory, as developed by Edward Said, focuses on how power and identity are shaped by the legacies of colonialism and imperialism. It examines how cultural, political, and economic dominance by more powerful nations or groups leads to the marginalization or subjugation of others, and how these oppressed groups resist and reconstruct their identities in response. Not to say the Pittsburghers and the Steelers are or were an oppressed group. We can still apply these concepts to better understand how Pittsburgh's transformation from an industrial powerhouse to a post-industrial city plays out through sports, labor, and identity. In the mid-20th century, Pittsburgh's identity was firmly tied to steel manufacturing, and the industry had a colonial-like hold over the people in the land. Workers were exploited under harsh labor conditions, and their lives were shaped by the demands of the industry. When steel mills began to close in the 1970s and 1980s, Pittsburgh faced an economic crisis akin to what post-colonial societies experience when they lose their dominant source of power. The collapse of the steel industry forced Pittsburgh to grapple with a new economic reality, experiencing what could be called a post-colonial crisis. In this context, the Steelers stood as a symbol of resilience and continuity, offering a form of cultural resistance to the forces that were deindustrializing the city. It was during this period of economic crisis that the Steelers emerged to lead the city into a new era of prosperity. Much like how post-colonial societies struggled to redefine themselves after losing colonial powers, Pittsburgh used the Steelers as a symbol of cultural strength and the city's ability to adapt and thrive. The success of the Steelers in the 1970s, winning 4 Super Bowls, became an anchor for the community's identity, helping the city to hold on to a sense of pride and community despite the collapse of its industrial base. Post-colonial theory emphasizes how marginalized communities reclaim their agency in the face of external forces. For Pittsburghers, the Steelers helped to do that. The team represented a form of resistance to the economic forces that were stripping away their livelihood. The team not only provided entertainment, but hope and pride for a city that had seen its industries leave. The team didn't just play football, they embodied the city's working-class values of toughness, grit, and perseverance. Their success on the field was seen as a metaphor for the resilience of Pittsburgh itself, a city that may have lost its steel, but had not lost its spirit. The Steelers' victories in the 70s provided symbolic opposition to the forces of decline, much like how post-colonial societies use cultural symbols to assert their independence and redefine their identity in a new context. Structural functionalism, work done by Bronslaw Malinowski, examines how institutions and practices function to maintain the stability and cohesion of society. According to this theory, every part of society serves a role in sustaining the social system. This includes rituals, institutions, and shared values, all of which help to ensure social order, also emphasizing how institutions maintain societal equilibrium. In this context, we can examine how the Steelers function as a social institution within Pittsburgh and the broader society. In structural functionalism, institutions like education, religion, and in this case sports, serve to integrate individuals into the larger social system. The Pittsburgh Steelers serve as a key institution for Pittsburgh's social cohesion. The team acts as a source of shared identity and community pride, linking individuals together across social classes, races, and even generations. The Steelers provide a central symbol for unity for Pittsburghers. Whether people are from the working class neighborhoods of the city or its more affluent suburbs, the team creates a common bond among the people. For many, being a Steelers fan is part of their personal and communal identity. As Malinowski argues, rituals create a sense of solidarity within groups. For Pittsburghers, the ritual of watching a Steelers game, whether in the stadium or at home, fosters a sense of collective belonging. The terrible towel, for instance, has become a central ritualistic symbol. Waving the towel during games is more than just cheering for a team. It is a cultural act that connects fans to each other, reinforcing their membership in the larger social group that is Steelers Nation. Sports also provide emotional outlets. In the case of the Steelers, they allow Pittsburghers to channel their collective frustrations, joys, and hopes into a shared experience. The team's ups and downs mirror the emotional rhythms of the city. Winning a Super Bowl or even a regular season game can provide a release of collective emotion, while a loss might provide a sense of shared grief, but ultimately reinforce the solidarity of the community. From a structural functionalist perspective, the Steelers play an important role in maintaining social stability. In a city that went through an intense economic transformation, the Steelers helped to provide continuity. Their success on the field provided a symbolic anchor for the city, allowing Pittsburghers to hold on to a sense of pride and resilience even when their industrial base was disappearing. The Steelers are more than just a team. They provide economic and cultural capital as well. Beyond the stadium, the team contributes significantly to the local economy through tourism, merchandise, and game day activities. The team's success elevated Pittsburgh's reputation, replacing the Rust Belt narrative with one of resilience and reinvention. The team represents more than just success in sports. It represents the value of Pittsburgh's hardworking heritage. The hard-nosed playing style of the Steelers, especially in the 1970s with their steel curtain defense, mirrored the grit and toughness of the steelworkers who built the city's industrial power. Through their victories, the team reinforced social values like teamwork, hard work, and resilience, helping to stabilize the social fabric of the city during a period of transformation. While structural functionalism focuses on social stability, it is important to recognize that sports teams like the Steelers can also drive social change. The team, particularly in the early years, were instrumental in challenging racial barriers in the NFL. The team was one of the first to embrace African American players, making significant contributions to racial integration in professional sports. In this way, the team functioned not only as a source of social cohesion, but also as an agent of cultural change. The inclusion of African American players and coaches and the success of these players on the field symbolized Pittsburgh's progressive shift in racial attitudes, a shift that mirrored broader changes in American society. In conclusion, Analyzing the Pittsburgh Steelers through post-colonial theory and structural functionalism reveals how the team is far more than just a professional sports franchise. The team is a powerful cultural symbol of resilience, identity, and continuity in a city that has undergone profound economic and social transformation. From the post-colonial perspective, the Steelers represent the resilience of Pittsburgh in the face of deindustrialization, serving as a cultural force that resists the external economic pressures that have shaped the city's identities. Through structural functionalism, we see how the team served as a key role in maintaining social cohesion, identity, and emotional regulation within the community, acting as a stabilizing force during times of change. Together, these paradigms help us to understand how the Pittsburgh Steelers have become not just a sports team, but a sociocultural phenomenon, one that shapes the lives of Pittsburghers and reflects broader national cultural dynamics. Thank you.